Hello, my new Life Launchpad community. It is Amber here, and I get the honor of kicking off January and a whole new year when it comes to our masterclass. And so many of us spend the focus of a new year kind of setting new goals and new focus for the year. I thought it might be a great opportunity to share some of the things that I've learned both in business and in my personal life for setting goals and objectives and really striving toward how to achieve those. Because sometimes our goals aren't always short term goals, they're long term goals. Like in the case of Suivera, we actually have a 1,000-year mission. Our goal is to still be here supporting and serving our global community. And who knows, maybe in 1,000 years, it might be beyond our global community. And we need to make certain that we have clear ways in which we're integrating those goals into today's actionable steps. So I'm estimating not many of you have 1,000-year goals, but you might have some that stretch beyond 30, 60, 90 days and may even go into like 5 years, 10 years from now. So, how do you begin to really take this momentum that we have at the beginning of the year and really lay a strong foundation for navigating toward that? So, that's what I want to focus on. And I will have a very short Word document that I'll attach here that will kind of go over some things. But what I want to focus on are two things that I personally use, and that is the PACT approach, and that is PACT, and the SMART approach. And these are both ways to set objectives and goals. And one I use in one way, and one I use in another way. And so I'm going to go over those very quickly. So, first and foremost, what's the difference between PACT and SMART objectives? And this is something that I use as kind of a word analogy. And if you go out and you do some research on these, you're going to be able to find a lot of information. We use it in business a lot, but it can be applied in your life equally as well. And what PACT stands for, and I'm going to read this just to make sure I don't miss any words, but they are purposeful, actionable, continuous, and trackable. So PACT, purposeful, actionable, continuous, and trackable. And they are designed to help you achieve those longer term goals. Now, on the other end of that spectrum, you have SMART. SMART goals or SMART objectives are specific, they're measurable, they're achievable or attainable, relevant, and time bound. And often we use these when it comes to something that's a little shorter, like you know that your goal or what you're kind of striving to achieve is going to be completed maybe in the next 30, 60, 90 days, even up to a year. But it helps you create these very manageable goals and these tasks under the goals that can be highly specific. I've also found that SMART objectives or SMART goals are great when it comes to business and can be helpful in personal life. But I often find that PACT, those that are purposeful, actionable, continuous, and trackable, tend to be those that I utilize more in my personal life because often our personal life goals they tend to take us a little bit longer, and you might think of those as I'm focusing on goals in my relationships, either my romantic relationships or maybe my relationships with my children or my friends. We take some time often to really navigate through those because we have to navigate on the relationship with ourself often first and create that strong bond with ourself in order to create that strong bond with our partner or any other relationship that we're creating. So having a pact, and you can even consider it a pact with yourself, right? I'm creating this pact that I am going to move forward toward achieving this goal. Now, pact goals they can be individual or they can be shared. So often, if you are creating these goals that you're moving toward, then you're going to have shared vision or common goals. So let's continue to use the relationship approach. And you and a friend have decided that you would like to strengthen your friendship in 2025, and you were very busy in 2024. You didn't get as much of an opportunity to spend time together as you would have liked. So you're creating a pact that you will spend more time together and strengthen your friendship in 2025. Well, you're going to have a shared common goal there. And it will mean that both of you have to come together and have those purposeful, actionable, continuous, and trackable goals that you are creating for yourself. And so, as an example, you have ensured alignment and buy-in from both of you. So it's not as though you are going to create a goal and just anticipate that your friend is going to agree with it. An example of that might be, my goal is that we're going to get together 4 times a week for the rest of the year, and that is going to help us deepen our relationship. Well, your friend might not think that just getting together 4 times a week for the rest of the year is going to deepen the relationship. It might actually be the opposite for them, because it will take time away from their schedule and the things they need to do, increase stress in their life. And what they're actually looking for is maybe once a week, but having more meaningful time together. So, having deeper conversations in a longer period of time together. So, you both have to be on the same page for what your packed goals are going to be and how you're going to achieve them. You're going to use open communication and collaborative discussion in order to get to the goals that you're creating, and make certain that you're on the same page all of the way through. And if you have had an opportunity out on the Heart Leader podcast, we actually have an episode about heart storming. Heart storming really comes in handy here, because you come from that heart centered space when you're communicating with one another, and you know that you have each other's best interest at heart, even if you might have different perspectives on how to align on the goal. You both know you're working toward that common goal, and you realize that just getting started toward that goal is going to be an amazing and commendable step forward in getting to where you desire to be by the end of the year. Because 2024 got away from you, the fact that you're focused in 2025 is going to get you one step closer. So, making certain you take the time to just kind of recognize that even having those heart centered discussions, coming to the table and creating this strategy is going to move you one step closer. And that is going to kind of set the framework for PACT. Now, moving into SMART, how would SMART kind of differ from that, right? With SMART being specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Well, if you are looking at a friendship, again, it would be more self focused. Instead of the two of you coming together and having that discussion, it's how are you going to show up, and how are you going to be a close and better friend in 2025? What are specific and measurable things that you can do? And are those things achievable? And are they relevant to what you need to do in that friendship, or what you would like to do in that friendship, so that that friendship continues to grow? And then the time bound perspective of it. So if you're considering a birthday, maybe in 2024, time got away from you and you missed your friend's birthday. It happens. But if you are seeking to deepen that friendship, a smart objective for you might be, hey, I have to take my part, and a very specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time bound thing that I could do is to make certain that a week before my friend's birthday, I begin to plan what I'm going to do for my friend's birthday, whether it's a gift, it's time, it's whatever the specific thing is that you know your friend would like to do for their birthday. And you really begin to put the time and the effort into that. And by the time your friend's birthday gets there, it's time bound. So you know the birthday is a time bound mark, that you have everything that you had planned to do for your friend's birthday set into motion and that it has been executed so that that goal is achieved and that in 2025 your friend's birthday is exactly the way that you desire to execute. Now, going back to pact, you need to make certain that that SMART objective fits within the pact that you and your friend made. So if your friend isn't looking for a big blowout birthday party for their birthday, and that's the SMART objective that you set for yourself, then your SMART objective is not fitting in with the pact that you and your friend made together. So that's where the two really fit in to one another. So the SMART would be for you and would help you achieve your goal that sits within the overall pact that you and your friend have as a goal to build your friendship. And so I hope that that helps create some clarity around how the SMART can help support the pact up in the higher level that the two of you have made. So, SMART objectives help you build that plan and help you measure the execution of the plan. And then you can look forward into the other way. When you're looking for SMART goals, you ideally want them to be relatively shorter term. So you're not looking for, 10 years down the road. You're looking for shorter term goals where if we're talking about PACT, you can look for something that is a little bit further down the road. When you are creating some kind of a structure, a SMART goal needs to be more precise and more detailed than a PACT does. A PACT is focusing on controllable outcomes and controllable actions, but there is more in a SMART objective. It is precise and you're looking for those detailed tasks that you can do. Going back to the birthday example, you know exactly what actions you need to take in order to plan what you would like to do for your friend's birthday. Where if you and your friend are seeking to create a deeper relationship as a pact, then you have high level objectives of you would like to get together more often and you might define how often that is. But you're not going to go down to the level of deciding each and every interaction that you're going to have during those times that you get together. And a SMART objective, you would go down to the level of defining each and everything you're going to do during the time that you're together. Pact, you're not going to do that. You're just going to decide the frequency and you're going to make sure you're on the same page. Your goal type on a SMART objective is going to be more, I guess you might say, task based or project based. So, like a birthday would be a task based or a project based type of thing. Where if you're looking at PACT, it might be more behavior based or an overall outcome based that you're looking toward. So, habit patterns might be changing with PACT, where if you're looking at the goal outcome with SMART, it's going to be a very tangible deliverable, or there's going to be something that comes out of that. So, there's also measurability that when you are looking at SMART versus PACT, measurability in SMART is more quantitative. We're looking at numbers. You should be able to look at data to know whether or not you achieved your goal. Birthday party, how many of the tasks did I get done? And will that be enough for that to be a success? If it's not a birthday party, you're just planning to do something really nice for your friend. Did I get all of the things that I needed to get in order for me to deliver or execute upon that? Where when it comes to PACT, you are prioritizing more of the qualitative tasks. So it's more of the actions you're taking to shift the behavior more so than to get a tangible or a quantitative outcome. And when it comes to collaboration, both of them can work with other individuals, but typically SMART is more something that you're in direction of, where PACT can be more collaborative in nature. And adaptability, PACT is going to be more adaptable than SMART because SMART, you're really looking at well defined goals, you're looking at well defined actions. And with PACT, it's a little bit more of an iterative process. You are looking to changing things that are more longer term, so you can go in iterations and find things that are useful. And then motivation style, which is really important when we're looking at either changing behavior or going for achieving an outcome, right? We all want to be motivated. It's the beginning of the year. We're like, hurrah, yay, we're out there. We're ready to get moving. This is when we see the biggest boost in people going to the gym because we all feel this motivation. So we want to make certain whether we're using SMART or PACT that we're picking the one that's going to keep us most motivated. So SMART objectives really do give us that sense of urgency because they are a little shorter term. Right? They allow us to feel like, okay, I've got to get this done within this period of time. They are time bound. That's the T. Where PACT encourages motivation more through celebration of that forward movement and those consistent improvements that we see. So it's not so time bound. It's more about noticing the shifts and then celebrating those shifts as you go along. And so I am a huge proponent, and I've got a whole little sheet here, as I said, I will provide for you. It gives you scenarios about when to use PACT and when you might want to use SMART objectives. But ultimately, as you're heading into 2025, regardless of what system you use, one of the biggest things we need to do is ask ourselves the key why. Because whether you're using SMART or you're using PACT and you're applying it, if you don't know your why do I want my friendship to go deeper with this particular friend in 2025? Then that motivation won't be there. And another process I love, 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 love is this 7 whys question. You'll find it in the book Silence Your Inner Critic because it means so much to me. And the reason I use 7 whys is we have the 7 energy centers or the 7 core energy centers in our body. And I have found that each one of them often hold a different why for me as to what's motivating me to do something. So, my crown chakra is going to tell me something a little bit different as to what's motivating me than my solar plexus versus my root, right? Because they're all kind of feeding different energies into the being that I am. So if I sit with it, and I'm just going to stick with the same example, if I have a friend and I'm like, oh, I was not the best friend that I could be last year. But why do I feel like I wasn't the best friend that I could be? And why do I feel compelled to be a better friend in 2025? And I just take the time to sit with that and ask myself from that connective force of my spiritual being, like, why? Why is my spirit being drawn to this? Why do I see this in my future as being something that is going to help me in my forward movement? Why, if from my having my own voice, is that going to help me even from my throat chakra? How is that going to help me with my voice and my truth and help me move forward in that capacity? Or from my heart center, how does what's the why behind filling my heart? Why did it break my heart to not be as connected in 2024, and why is my heart so drawn to it in 2025? Or in my solar plexus, which often has like fear, is there something I fear that I'm going to miss out on if I am not more connected in 2025 with this amazing person that I have in my life? And then down into our creative center or our sacral chakra, like, am I missing out on creating this amazing bond with this beautiful person? Why do I feel that there is something that's lacking in creating that bond? And then with the root, why do I feel that I am not connected, or there's a lack of connection in this wonderful worldly space? There's just so many ways that you can ask the question, and that can kind of go through one way, but there's taking that time to know your why, and to know your why from so many different perspectives can help give you the clarity to get those really solid and strong objectives. Whether you're using SMART or you're using PACT, if you don't know your why, it is really, really challenging to get the strongest and best objectives that will keep you motivated to continue to move forward for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, or even longer than that. So, if there's one thing that you take from this, ask your why and know your why, and then plug it into a system that really keeps you motivated to head toward it for the rest of the year. Now, as always, if you have any questions over any of these master classes, whether it's this one or one that we've done in the past, do not hesitate to reach out to us right here on My New Life Launchpad. We are always here to help. You can contact us. There is a sidebar on the left right here where you're watching this, and you can directly contact any one of the coaches, or you can ask questions right here beneath this video, and we'll be happy to respond to you. I can definitely tell you that we are a community that is here to support each other. That is the goal and the purpose. So there is no question that we are not just eager to answer. And if you have the question, I am pretty certain somebody else probably does too. So please feel free to share. And don't forget, we have amazing, amazing content available to you as well out on the Heart Leader podcast, which you can find anywhere that you enjoy podcasts. And we also have tons and tons of resources out on our Facebook page at suivera.org. So you can find us out there if you are a Facebook person, or out on Instagram and many other socials. So you can just find us out there too. We love giving free content, and we are here for you. So until next time, I look forward to chatting with you right here in the community.